Don't want to die. Feared. Feared. Or something. We're gonna go to the master bedroom. What the heck? Oh, look at this guy's journals. Statues. Suspicious.
This is the master bedroom. Please feel welcome to treat it as your own. Rest if you are weary, and safely store your belongings if you are burdened.
Okie dokin'. Let me just get a couple of these. About 6 hours of sleep. Rick-a-dook-a-doo-doo. Ready to go. Ludwig's Journal, 1 of 4. Journal of Ludwig Clockwork, Part 1. Third of Evening Star, 4th Era, 16. Today we laid my father to rest in the mausoleum. It is a strange feeling knowing that his shell just lies there alone, and at any time I could go look upon it as if he were still there. Instead, I shall honor his wish and begin the keeping of his journal. It's past time I did. He certainly prodded me into it for long enough. Should this first entry be a commemoration of my father's life, I lack the words to adequately describe him. I think his achievements are familiar to most. Everyone knows the Clockwork Trading Company. There is little I could add, unless that would be of interest, I'm sure, coming from me. I can say, however, that he shall be missed. We commend thee and lay thee to rest, Maximilian Clockwork, Father. 10th Morning Star, 4E, 17. It occurs to me that for this journal to be of any use to anyone, I should explain who I am. My name is Ludwig Clockwork, now the Lord of the Clockwork Castle, I suppose. Lord of a trade route to nowhere. It barely entered my thoughts as a child, as I have no memory of living anywhere else. But our castle is truly remote. It was Father's grand project, a new trade route between Skyrim and Morrowind, administered by the Clockwork Company alone. A fool's project is what they called it. How could it replace the Sea of Ghost route? They asked. What of the phenomenal expense in tunneling under the mountains, said others. But Father's plan was one more simple. Why forge a new path when one can reclaim an old one? Tolvald's Crossing was too dangerous and too far south in any case. The mysterious tunnels that Father set his mind and considerable fortune to, and he never did reveal how he knew of them, were not too far from the port in Windhelm. He knew no name for these tunnels, and since they went beneath the Velothi Mountains, he and all the workers came to simply call them the Velothi Tunnels. Clearing the way was dangerous, but the work involved was relatively slight. These tunnels emerged in a small valley high in the mountains before plunging beneath the rocks again, down to Morrowind. Clodovic Castle was built in this valley, a gatehouse in the center of the would-be trade route. And that is how I grew up, observing the construction of our castle, watching and pestering the builders, stonecutters, carpenters, and smiths. Tools and machines fascinated me. Hammers, saws, pulleys, and levers. I relished seeing the walls go up, the rooms take shape. Father was more keen to the furnishings. They had to match the latest fashions of faraway High Rock. That was home to him and to Mother. I was too young to remember it well, but they are distinctive. Everything went wrong in the Red Year. Not merely for us, of course. It was the death of so very many. But that was when the tunnel went down. Tomorrowland fell in, killing the workers inside. It was the end of Father's great project. Even if our route had survived, the people of Morrowind did not. There was no one left to trade with. Mother died not long after, along with my sister who would have been. So much went wrong. The castle was nearly complete by then, and though, again, people were mad, Father elected to have it finished. Certainly some things were called off and cut short. I think the armory was originally intended to be another grand entrance hall, leading on to quarters for prestigious guests, a ballroom and such, but still it became Clodovic Castle, our home. My aunts and uncles always said that Father never recovered from those days. Why else would he choose to stay in the place that had come to represent his very dear failure? Father may have founded it, but they took on the running of Clodovic Company from then on. My siblings were meant to take up the business, also, or so they informed me during their brief visit to inter our father. They have been anxious to leave the castle once they were old enough. They could not stand the isolation. But I, of course, remained, here with Father and the staff. I remember I was sorely disappointed when the last of the construction came to a close. Some of the carpenters and smiths had treated me almost as an apprentice. But then they had to leave, and then there was nothing more to do. Father had noticed my interest in intricate mechanics, though, and diverted them into a trade in intricate jewelries. It is not exactly what I wanted, but it suits me well enough, and I can labor at home in the castle. It's also very profitable. And there you have it, I suppose. Lord Ludwig Clodovic, the jeweler. Yeah, it's not so bad so far. Note, I did say
This is the bathing room. To wash the mortal body aids social interaction and fortifies against disease. Manipulate the taps to produce cold or heated water. I hope that helped. Please let me know if you would like me to show you another part of the castle. Hello. Certainly.
Can you show
Where shall I take you?
the major
Of
stuff?
course. Please, come this way.
Okay. Whoa! Whoopsie! Getting a little bit too tipsy. Sorry, buddy. Right here.
This is the mage's study. To refine the ingredients of alchemical use. To employ the souls of magical use. There there is an enchanting table and an alchemy lab here. Unfortunately, they both contain fragile glass foam which was shattered in the same tremor that breached the steam pipeline. I am attempting to find replacement parts, but precise dimensions are required for them. It may take some time. I'm afraid neither station can be used until then. In any case, please note the balance scales atop each station. They can be used to measure out and sort out chemical ingredients and soldiers, respectively, into the nearby specimen cabinets.
Neat.
This is also a library. The basket here is used to sort documents into the bookcases against the walls. They are arranged in alphabetical order. Finally, the spiral staircase in the center of the room leads up to the glass garden on the roof. If you would like me to show them to, just ask. I hope that helped. Please let me know if you would like me to show you another part of the room.
In a moment, buddy. Ludwig's Journal 2. 12th of last seed, 4E17. Now that Father is gone, they pester me to expand the mausoleum in readiness for my eventual passing. Next in line to die. Fine, I shall order the excavation. 4th of Rain's Hand, 4E18. It is like turning over a rock and finding the twisting tunnels of an ant nest exposed to the sky. And yet here the inhabitants did not scatter in panic. They merely stood and stared with those red pinpricks for eyes. 7th of Rain's Hand, 4E18. I should explain. In expanding the mausoleum, the workers broke through into some ancient catacombs of the Glimmer. They were beneath our feet, beneath the castle, this entire time. Perhaps it should not be too surprising. The Velothi tunnels are also home to some Dwemer ruins, too. It is also strange, though. Where do I begin? I've read about Dwemer homunculi, all I could lay my hands on, as those were some of my favorites. But I've never seen any mention of what we found here. The workers called me down when they were about to breach the wall, and there we all stood clustered around the hole. On the other side was our mirror image, a congregation of metal men staring back at us with their glowing red eyes. I was afraid, we all were, but while the workers all fled the mausoleum, I remained frozen in place. Expecting your imminent death is a significant shock, but an even greater surprise awaited me. A metal woman came forward and spoke. She spoke to me. At first, her words were unrecognizable. Was it the Dwemer language? Then she spoke in Cyrodiilic that was slow and halting. No harm, she said. I could manage no response. No harm, she said again, but this time to the metal men and women behind her. Now she stands here in the study with me, reading the books. I think she asked for them? I brought her on the day of the breach, but I have forgotten what we spoke of. I said a lot in my panic, and she said very little. It all happened so quickly. Her brethren have all remained behind, down below, but she has not left the study. She is looking at me. 12th of Rain's Hand, 4E18. Her name is Lamashtu. Her progress in learning Cyrodiilic is astonishing, unlike me. And she reads my books and listens to the conversation of the staff. And already I can converse with her easily. The servants are not glad to have this audience, though, that much is clear. They are plainly afraid of what we have uncovered. But it is just as plain to me that these metal men mean us, well, no harm, as Lamashtu said. Lamashtu has promised to show me Nurundaral, for that is the name of the Dwemer catacombs beneath us. Actually, she has said that she will have her, I suppose, brother Lahar show it to me. I think she wants to stay in the study. She says that she and her metal brethren are called the Gilded, but I am as of yet unsure what they are exactly. Apparently they have always been beneath our feet and have never ventured out. They do resemble a homunculi, that is all I can say. I realize more and more each day that the discovery of the guild is a monumental one, but Lamashtu has requested privacy. I'm not sure of her reasons, but I certainly think of my own. Trimmer homunculi are known to be generally hostile and quite dangerous. I dread the thought of what might happen if some kind of military attention fell on them. The staff may spread tales, how could I stop them? But I have heard how they speak of this discovery. I doubt anybody will believe the particulars of their tales. They will be thought of as just that. Tales. First of second seed, 4E18. The resources to be found in Nurendral are beyond my ability to count or really value. In particular, that wonderful metal, the famous swimmer metal that confounds all who try to unlock the secrets of its fabrication. I did put the question to Lamashtu, but I am no smith or alchemist, is all she would say. She has answered many of my questions about the truly amazing machines down there, though. I can barely sleep. It feels like my mind is on fire with possibilities. Lahar is taking to his new job as well, too. After showing me some of Nurendral, he showed me back up to the castle. I did not mind, even to begin with. He was almost as well spoken as Lamashtu. I think she must have been teaching him, or perhaps he already knew. Much like Lamashtu had, Lahar began to follow the staff and observe their work to their visible chagrin. Before long, he expressed an interest in taking up the role of a caretaker of the castle. Already he is valuable. He is careful, quick, and most remarkably does not appear to need or want for sleep. Pretty handy. 22nd of second seed, 4E18. The study of Nurendral's machines consumed my attention, as do my plans regarding what I learned from them. I took to Lamashtu as a representative of that domain and of her kind. Besides Lahar, who is agreeable if simple, she's the only one, and perhaps willing, to speak with me. The others merely stare as I pass and ignore my attempts at conversation. I asked her permission to salvage what scraps of metal could be found lying broken and useless in the halls of Nurendral for use in my own works. However, in passive her manner, she did agree. This is tremendously exciting. The metal can be melted down and reshaped as I desire, and there's so much of it to be had. I go to work. 25th of mid-year, 4E18. The mausoleum has become a thoroughfare. Metal, warp scraps, and whole pieces both is carted out in Nurendral and into the workroom by small groups of gilded. There the casting molds wait. Things are taking shape.
Is there anything I can do to help? Certainly. Where shall I take you?
Take me to
Of
the
course.
travel room.
Please, follow me.
weren't for all the creepy shit, this would actually be a really nice place to stay. Ludwig's Journal, Part 3. Between the pages of this journal, you find a key. Tied to it is a label which reads, Master Bedroom, Wardrobe. Interesting. First of Sun's Height, 4E18. Staff are all leaving. It's been building for some time. It's their fear of the gilded. More and more of their number are effectively taking up residence in the castle as they help with my work. As with Vashti and Lahar, they also took to observing the staff in their daily tasks. Never speaking, just watching. I think it all became too much. Perhaps it's for the best. I'm told that the company is not doing well. Less money is coming in, in truth it is a relief. I never know what to say to them anyway. Madame Elise, she was always kind to me. She actually asked me to leave as well. That's not something I could do, though. Especially not now. I could have sworn that she looked disappointed. It would be nice to think why that might be, but it can't be it. It must be imagined. Still, it is sad to think that I will not likely see her. In any case, Lamashtu was quick to point out that the staff are not even truly required any longer. Not with her brother here and able to take up the work. Today I offered to pay them all a wage for this work, but Lamashtu declined, saying that all they needed was something to occupy them. Lahar echoed this sentiment. I suppose I'll have to take them at their word. None of their brethren will speak to me after all. Third of Hearth, or 4E20. Behold the common tap or spigot. The pipes of cast metal to ferry the water, the appropriated twimmer pump, the steam to make it go. Steam under pressure, it makes it all go. Now I have water at the turn of a tap. Heated water even. The former boiler was perfect for the task. 23 of first scene, 4E21. Today I've heard that Clockwork Trading Company is... By accounts, it was a slow decline since the Red Year and Mother's death, but now it has finally happened. We all have our share of the remaining wealth, and it's not insubstantial. I don't have to worry for myself or the remaining family. Indeed, I've continued my jewelry business all this time, even overseeing some of the gilded, creating additional pieces. Some of the things need to be arranged, but overall, this is nothing to put over. Things here. 5th of Rain's Hand, 4E21. I can't abide first-time meetings. Anyone? No one knows what to say to one another. Who are you? They would say. What is it that you do? By which, of course, they mean, please describe your quantifiable worth to society in a short sentence. 6th of Frostfall, 4E21. Father's beautiful glass garden perched atop the castle never did function. It would never hold the warmth the plants needed. It all leached out into the frigid mountain air. The plants froze and died. Now that I can tap into that seemingly endless supply, a pressurized steam produced by some unknown means deep in their underall, the glass garden is finally as warm and vaporous as I could ever want. 14th of Sun's Dawn, 4E23. An amazing discovery today, though I would not have known it if not for the Lamashtu. In excavating a new room for the cellar, the workers struck what appears by its curve to be a great metal sphere. Pure metal, like everything down there. But unlike any of the other items during the manufacture I had yet seen. To look at it, and it seems that she recognizes it. After some thought, she said that it had been called a machine for far walking without steps. Rough translation, I think. I am simply calling it the travel machine for now, as that it is apparently what it is for, teleporting one to a far-off location and back again. We speak of it as a barely remembered thing from one's childhood, but Lamashtu tells me that the machine is like a crossroads, with paths striking out in many directions from it. At the end of each road is a terminus machine, and this is where one would appear upon entering the travel machine here. Similarly, entering a terminus machine would bring one back here. I've asked for the workers to uncover the sphere in its entirety. This is very exciting. 30th of Hearthfire, 4E23. The travel machine is to be my own grand project. Quite early on, we found a kind of panel on the surface that could be removed. Behind it were etched a series of pictographs that Lamashtu aided me in deciphering. We've concluded that they give instruction of the assembly and operation of the machine. The work required is lengthy and arduous. It would be impossible were the Gilded not here to help me. A large chamber to house it must be dug out and supported with stonework. The machine itself has been buried in the dirt for who knows how long. Excavation continues, but it is painstaking. After that, it must be raised up, righted, and supported in place. It must be cleaned thoroughly inside and out. Broken pieces must be recast and replaced. It is to require an extraordinary amount of piping. There's a lot going unused down in Durunderall, but will it be enough? I expect this to take years, but it is the power of teleportation, and not just in the hands of powerful mages. It's hard to imagine what a boon it would have been for the Clockwork Company had it not closed its doors. 22nd of 2nd C, 4E. Work on the travel machine continues. In the meantime, I have been inspired by the idea of the travel machine to create my own structure that facilitates fast transportation of items across the castle. It relies on the principles of pneumatic pressure to propel items through the pipes that have been laid beneath the floors and behind the wall. My first practical test was a pipe that ran between a terminal in the kitchen and the one in my bedroom. It worked much as I expected, though the first attempts were messy. I shall expand the structure of the pipes throughout the castle. It will be more disruptive than the gas lights, whereas the pipes are much larger, but worth it in the end, I feel. A funny thing also, I have heard that rather than Clockwork Castle, people have come to call my home Clockwork Castle. For all the machinery here, it's a fitting name, I think. I like it. 11th frame for 4E3. I'm frustrated by the interminable work required by the travel machine. So much work and yet so little to occupy my time. I simply lack the strength of the Gilded. For now, there is nothing I can help with. To alleviate my boredom, I recently began work on a method for controlling the machine. It is something I've given a lot of thought to. How to inform the machine of where I want to go. I'm sculpting what will become a cast metal relief map of Skyrim. Only Skyrim, Lamashtu assures me, that it could not take one anywhere else. Once cast, it will affix mechanical buttons to it in the places on the map the machine can take me. It shall be beautiful. I certainly have the time to make it so. 4th of Frostfall, 4E32. Today, one of the Gilded workers struck me as we were working on the travel machine. He had been giving me odd looks all morning, so I had kept an eye on him in turn, and saw the blow coming in time to mostly evade him. He still caught me on the arm and knocked me to the floor, raising a nasty bruise. He stood above me, silent all the while, and for a moment I feared for my life. Fortunately, I then heard Lahar rounding the corner and looked to him for help. But now it was Lahar looking at me oddly sprawled on the floor as the worker had already turned back to his task as if nothing was amiss. Still, I had to tell Lahar what had happened. I hardly feel safe around the Gilded these days. He said something to the worker that I didn't catch. My silent left for Narendral without a word, later be replaced by a different Gilded. I am thankful that the machine is nearly finished. 20th of Sun's Dusk 4E33. It is like turning a musical instrument. Fine adjustments until the right tone is struck and the travel machine stirs to life. A bright blue portal shining in its heart. This is how we find where the thing can take us. Which terminus machines out there yet function. I was reluctant to go through the shimmering portal. How could we truly know where it led, or even if one would arrive with both life and limbs intact? What if an unfriendly person awaited on the other side? Lahar did not seem to share my concerns, however, and strolled through the portal before I knew what he had intended. He was gone so long that I thought him lost. When he returned, he was caked in dirt as if he had dug his way out of a grave. I saw the banners of Whiterun, he said to me. The caravan brings us meat from there. I marked down the tuning, and we moved to the next. Lahar went fiercely into the portal again and again, though now I made him cover his metal body with clothes that would fit. He could be a strange sight indeed to anyone that might see him otherwise. Today I took my first steps outside Clockwork Castle in over a decade. How is it that so much time had passed? It was well outside the castle, too. The travel machine works. I stood outside the Markarth Clockwork terminus for several minutes, watching the crowds across the river, entering and leaving the city slowly. That was enough for me. I returned to make this entry. There were long years in which I thought this day would never come, but now it is here. The machine works. Now there is no more need for the caravans to make the trips of the Velothi tunnels, delivering my supplies. Lahar said that he will do it instead using the travel machine. 18th of Mid-Year, 4A33. This morning I awoke to find that all the Gilded, except Lamashtu and Lahar, had left during the night. Lahar says they have all returned to Narendral. To be honest, I am relieved, beginning to feel like a prisoner in my own home. I dared not enter a room if one of the workers were doing their chores. I don't know how to properly describe it. For some time now, they've exuded such a sense of menace that I feel danger. Fortunately, Clockwork Castle has earned its name. With all the work I've done here, all the labor-saving machines, the workers are no longer needed. Lahar is more than enough. After all, there is no great entourage here to feed and clothe, no mothers, no fathers, children or dogs. There is just me. What's that? Also my
Can I help you with something?
Can you show me back to the
Certainly.
master bedroom?
Where shall I take you? Of
Master
course.
bedroom.
Please follow me.
Okay.
This is the master bedroom. Please feel welcome to treat it as your own. Rest if
I
you are
will,
weary,
but...
and safely store your belongings if you are burdened.
Oh, man. Oh, crap. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Poor dude. Journal of Ludwig Clodovac, Part 4. 5th of Sunsight, 4E37. An awful realization has been in my thoughts lately. Or rather, a realization, a question. If I were to die, save some accident in the workroom, how long would it be until I was found? The answer, I think, is that the longer I stay here out of the world, the more any knowledge or memories of me will fade from those out there, and the longer it would be until I was found, tending towards infinity. It's almost mathematical. 13th of Evening Star, 4E44. It occurs to me that I am so accustomed to the useful machines in Clockwork Castle that I can scarcely imagine life without them. And yet, do devices like this exist anywhere else? They could improve the lives of others too, but would anyone accept them? What real use would these contraptions be, they would ask, or how could we possibly afford to build such extravagances? And yet I spend all days in the workroom, crafting machines and objects out of utility and beauty. Perhaps one day when I've had enough, when I'm finished, I can show it all to someone. 10th of Frostfall, 4E53. I cannot remember the last time I actually spoke aloud. Once there was so much to say, so much to learn from Lamashtu, so much to organize with Lahar. Now, though, everything is settled. Every moment runs into the next with the precision and predictability of a perfect machine. Every day is exactly the same. There's nothing more to say. When was the last time I spoke to someone outside of the castle? Someone not made of metal? It must have been around when the travel machine was completed. Has it really been so long? I don't know that I could raise my voice anymore, not even to save my life. I don't want it to be heard. 29th of First Seed, 4E54. They're warm to the touch, aren't they? And when I'm warm, Lamashtu, Lahar, the lady in the walls, they are also cold. 1st of Hearthfire, 4E60. Clocks driven by soul gems, marking time for an eternity. Are they aware? What do they see with no eyes? What do they feel with no skin? 7th of Midyear, 4E68. Does the mind require other minds to inform its thoughts? Do they otherwise reflect back, uselessly and endlessly unchanged? An echo chamber. But I say nothing. Could I still speak? I dare not speak. 7th of Sun's Dusk, 4E83. I do nothing but sit here in this chamber. The cobwebs growing around me, and the dust staining my skin. I could not bear their eyes upon me, and the weight of their judgment behind those eyes would be too much as well. I think I shall simply stay here instead. There's a feeling rising in me that my time here is growing short. It is obvious to me that I should not note down my last will, but then there is no one to give it all to, and I have nothing to offer in any case. Who would want what I have? I don't want to reflect on my life. It was no good. Really, it's no good. Surely, though, it was better than nothing. That is freaking depressing. Whew. Hopefully that's all the reading.
What are you doing? What are you?
I found a corpse.
That must be Ludwig. He used to live here with us. I had not spoken to him for a long time. I suppose he must have died in there.
How? Why is he still...
I forgot about death. It was a long time ago for me.
You forgot.
I am nearly 4,000 years old. For me, time is difficult. Men and women are victims of time, whereas I turn for a moment to, and when I turn back, you're all dead.
And Ludwig...
Towards the end, Ludwig shut himself away and would see no one. Items such as books were sent up using the pneumatic tube system. For a time, Lahar continued to deliver his food, and the food was eaten. I believe now that the vermin began to eat the food once Ludwig stopped.
What now? His body's...
Caretaking is Lahar's sole interest. You should ask him.
Well, you don't seem very bothered by it.
Is there anything I can do to help? What needs to be done?
Could you do something about Ludwig's body?
Ludwig is dead. That is a terrible shame. I shall remove his body and place it in the mausoleum. I shall also clean the area surrounding his body. It must be very dusty by now. This is the bathing room. To wash the mortal body aids social interaction and fortifies against disease. Manipulate the tubs to use cold or heated water. I hope that helped. Please let me know if you would like me to show you another part of the castle.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Both the quest as far as I know. Now what? that. Well, it looks like there's some canis root. About it. Wasn't anything to do with any of that.
Is there anything I can do to help? Can I help you with something?
What options she got left?
Certainly. Where shall I take you? Certainly.
Kitchen.
Please, come this way.
Hells yeah. Might as well check out every room in this place. Oh, wait, let me turn out.
This is the kitchen.
Cinematic.
Store the food. To refine the ingredients of culinary use. Behind this door is the cold room. It is open to the frigid air outside and is used to keep food from spoiling. I hope that helped. Please let me know if you would like me to show you another part of the castle. Is there something I can do for you? Yes, I shall endeavor to answer. Is there anything I can do to help?
Come on.
Can I help you with something?
Scooch, so I can close the door and sorry about that. Realize I just made more of a mess. I'm gonna turn. Guess I should just randomly explore. It looks like the way usually. Ooh. Oh, well, that's the armory. I guess there really isn't that much more. I could look in here. Looks like kids' beds. It's a pooper. Oh man. Oh damn, he must have had all the kids. Oh no, lady said he didn't. So that must have been for guests. I don't know. That's crazy story. That all the this radio. Oh, this bed's open. Well, that should be enough for this episode.